Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is pretty specific. We're analyzing a whole stack of sources about a software company called Kenora Networks. Now, this company probably caught your eye because, let's be honest, they look really polished, almost perfect on paper.
Oh, absolutely. Kenora Networks projects this super sleek image, great website, claims about innovative custom software, tailored solutions, basically everything designed to empower businesses. They look like the ideal development partner.
And that flawless presentation, that's exactly why we're here today. We need to go beyond the marketing shine and actually dig into the facts. Our goal, it's really to investigate the gap, between those corporate buzzwords and what's actually verifiable. For you listening, think of this as a crucial lesson in digital vigilance.
Yeah, it's about finding that aha moment. Are they genuinely innovative, or are they just gotten really good at, shall we say, digital camouflage? We need to figure out, what do the sources really tell us about their history, their foundation, and maybe most importantly, are their biggest claims even authentic?
Okay, so let's start with that polished facade. When you first hit their site, it feels incredibly professional. They talk about empowering businesses. They list this really nice address in San Jose, California, and they're not afraid to name drop some big partners.
Yes, exactly. The partner list is key to their apparent credibility. They've got case studies, testimonials, throwing around names like Astarte Medical, CAE Blue Phantom, Liberties Professional. These sound like serious players.
But, okay, when you actually start reading those testimonials, something feels a bit off, doesn't it? What did the sources say about the language they used?
Well, the initial analysis had pretty much flagged the language immediately. It follows a template,
Yeah.
almost generic. So generic, the sources called it corporate word salad.
Mm.
We're talking phrases like, maximizing efficiency, streamlining operational flow, stuff that could apply to literally anyone. A bakery, maybe?
Right. And the crucial missing piece here, it's the anonymity, isn't it? They're trying to borrow credibility with these quotes, but
But there's no one attached to them. No names, no actual people you could verify, and critically, no specific companies linked to these glowing reviews. Think about it. If you really did amazing custom work for a major medical firm, wouldn't you shout that from the rooftops? Name names. This vagueness is a huge red flag right away.
okay, so the facade looks good, but it feels thin. Where did the sources point first for, like, hard data? Quantifiable proof that something's wrong. We need to move past just suspicion.
Right, so that takes us to the basic infrastructure checks. The first really solid data point that throws everything into question is the website's trust score.
We looked at the Scam Advisor, finding that's a pretty standard tool for checking site reliability.
And the score was not good.
Not good is putting it mildly. The site was flagged with a very low trust score. The sources indicated it was potentially fraudulent. They even used this really vivid phrase saying the score was so low it was doing limbo under hell. That's about as bad as it gets. A massive warning sign. Wow. Okay, a score like that isn't just one small thing. It's just a bunch of major issues piling up. What were some of those underlying factors?
One of the immediate factors is the company's age. If they're claiming these big, long-term partnerships, you'd expect them to have been around for a while, right? But the investigation found the domain name KenoraNetworks.com was only registered in September 2024.
September 2024, so just a few months ago.
Exactly. For a supposed major innovator working with global corporations being basically brand new, that just doesn't line up. It's a serious chronological mismatch.
A brand new website claiming huge established success that already stretches belief. But they haven't exactly been quiet in their short time online, have they? The sources mention their operational style.
Very aggressive. The sources flagged the company multiple times for sending out unsolicited emails. Basically, they've been reported repeatedly for spamming. Now, that's the kind of behavior you see from high-volume lead generation outfits, not typically from, high-end professional software firms that rely on reputation and referrals.
That does raise a big question. Why would a legit software company, supposedly with these major partners, need to resort to mass spamming?
They wouldn't, typically.
Right.
Real established firms, especially dealing with sensitive industries like healthcare, they tend to be very careful about outreach. Professionalism is key. Spamming suggests their main goal is just getting leads, any leads, fast. It hints they don't have the legitimate client base or marketing channels that come with real success.
Okay, let's pivot to the claims that are just impossible, the ones that seem to defy time itself. This is where things move from just suspicious to, well, seemingly provably false. Let's talk about Astarte Medical.
Right. This is probably the most damning piece of evidence, and it's worth unpacking carefully for everyone listening. Astarte Medical, it was a real company based in Pennsylvania, successful, developed complex software for NICUs, neonatal intensive care units. They'd even raised significant funding, about $17 million. So a very impressive name for Kenora to drop.
So, on paper, claiming them as a partner sounds totally believable, makes Kenora look good.
It does, until you look at the timeline. The sources confirmed a crucial plot twist. Astarte Medical permanently ceased all operations. They sold off their assets. They were essentially gone by February 2024.
Wait, February 2024, but you just said Kenora Networks registered their domain in September 2024?
Precisely. Astarte Medical shut down 6 months before Kenora Networks even had a website, before they digitally existed.
So, how could they possibly partner with them?
They couldn't. It's a chronological impossibility. Kenora Networks is claiming a partnership with a company that was already defunct, dissolved, gone, half a year before they even launched their site. They're claiming to have worked with a ghost.
Wow, okay. And if they're demonstrably lying about something so fundamental, so easily verifiable with a date, I mean, what does that imply about everything else they claim?
It completely shatters their credibility, doesn't it?
Wow.
In any kind of due diligence, this is the kind of thing that stops you in your tracks. A major partner name like Astarte is meant to signal trust, expertise, long-term stability. Finding out the partnership itself is chronologically impossible proves they're willing to fabricate at the most basic level. If their foundational claim requires time travel, you have to assume everything else is likely fiction too.
And that skepticism, it must immediately cast a really harsh light on their other big claims, right? Like partnering with CAE Blue Phantom.
Absolutely. CAE Blue Phantom is part of CAE Healthcare, a genuinely huge global corporation. They make sophisticated ultrasound training models, operate worldwide, deal with complex medical tech, very high standards.
So the sources show we have this brand new startup already flagged for a terrible trust score and spamming, claiming they have an established partnership with a global giant like CAE Healthcare. How likely is that?
It's incredibly unlikely. Let's be realistic. Global corporations like CAE have rigorous vetting processes for vendors. They require extensive checks, legal reviews, proof of business history. Kenora Networks has none of that. A zero credibility track record, a few months old. After the Astarte claim is fabricated, the CAE Blue Phantom claim just seems absurd. It looks like another borrowed name to make the website look good.
Okay, so the partnerships seem fabricated. What about the company itself? If they're this supposed powerhouse, surely they exist somewhere online beyond just their own dodgy domain. We looked for the usual digital footprints, right?
We did. And what we found, or rather didn't find, was this pattern of, well, digital silence. It's deafening for a company claiming global reach. Yes, the San Jose address they list, it's a real place. But the sources found zero evidence of any business registration for Kenora Networks at that address.
That's highly irregular for a company supposedly handling major software projects. You need to be legally registered.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And it gets worse. There's a complete lack of the usual trust signals. No verifiable reviews on sites like Trustpilot. No professional LinkedIn company page showing who works there, who the leadership is. Basically, zero third-party verification anywhere online confirming they exist or have done any actual projects. For a company claiming to be an innovative leader, especially in software, this kind of invisibility isn't stealthy. It's deeply suspicious. It suggests non-existence.
So they're like a digital ghost, only visible through their own carefully constructed but ultimately fake website.
Pretty much. And there was one more thing the sources noted, which is really telling. Analysts found that the entire structure of the Kenora Networks website, the design, the layout, even the specific language, it's identical to templates used by multiple other suspected scam sites pretending to be software developers.
So wait, this might not even be a one-off. They could be part of a larger network using the same fake playbook.
That's the strong suspicion based on the analysis. It looks like they're using these prefabricated website templates, easy to launch, look professional at first glance. When one site gets flagged or too much negative attention, they can just swap the logo, register a new domain, change the name, and boom, launch the next iteration to keep generating leads.
Okay, let's bring this all together for the listener. If Kenora Networks isn't a real software company, what's the likely endgame here? Why target businesses with spam? What's the actual operation?
Well, when you put all the pieces together, the terrible trust score, the brand new domain, the fabricated history, the spamming, the anonymity, the template site, the conclusion seems pretty clear. This looks like a sophisticated lead generation scam. It's designed to lure in businesses that are looking for custom software development.
And how does that scam actually work if a legitimate business takes the bait?
It's quite predatory. They use that polished website and the fake big-name partners in their spam emails to build initial trust. So a business, maybe a medium-sized company needing a new app or something, they see the professional front, they submit a detailed project inquiry. Kenora collects all that valuable information, project scope, budget ideas, technical needs.
Okay, and then what do they do with those details?
Two main possibilities, really. The most basic scam is they take an initial deposit or retainer fee and just vanish. They've got your money and maybe some sensitive business info. But the more common and maybe more insidious approach is outsourcing. They take your project requirements, immediately farm it out to the absolute cheapest overseas bidder. They can find someone who might be completely unqualified, and then they pocket the huge difference between the premium price they quoted you and what they actually paid the outsourcer.
So they act like a high-end partner, but are really just a dishonest, unnecessary middleman adding no value.
Exactly. No quality control, no real project management, no expertise. They're selling you a premium service based on lies and hoping you won't look too closely behind the curtain. And this is where we really need to stress the contrast with a real, legitimate software development company.
Yes, please lay that out. What should people look for to know they're dealing with a trustworthy firm?
Okay, a genuine software company, big or small, will have several key things Kenora lacks. They'll have a verifiable portfolio, not just names, but actual descriptions of completed projects. Their client testimonials will have real names, real titles, real companies attached. You can look up their business registration and confirm they legally exist where they claim to. And they'll have an organic online presence, LinkedIn profiles for staff, maybe some industry articles, genuine reviews over time.
They don't need to invent partners who were gone before they even started.
Precisely. Legitimacy comes with actual history, verifiable work, and real people. If a company is invisible online, except for its own site, relies on spam, and its biggest claims fall apart with a simple date check, you're not dealing with a real partner. You're likely dealing with a digital mirage.
Well, this deep dive has certainly pulled back the curtain on what looks like a very slick but ultimately hollow attempt at digital deception. The key takeaways for you listening are pretty stark. That incredibly low trust score, the very recent September 2024 domain registration, the multiple spam reports, and that absolutely critical timeline-breaking evidence about the ghost partner, Astardi Medical.
Right. And it serves as a broader warning. Whenever you see those polished corporate claims, especially from a company that seems to appear out of nowhere, activate your critical thinking. Always, always check the domain age. Try to independently verify those big partnership claims because really, if a company's core story requires you to believe they defy the laws of time to work with a defunct partner, well, what other basic realities are they asking you to ignore?
Excellent point. Stay vigilant out there, everyone. Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.